Ethan Cole had not planned to wake up next to a stranger, especially not one wearing his shirt, and definitely not one who happened to be the most powerful woman in the city. The morning light filtered softly through the thin curtains of his modest two-bedroom apartment in Brookdale Heights. The alarm on his old phone buzzed at 6 a.m., sharp and unforgiving. Ethan reached out blindly to silence it. His head throbbed. He remembered the gala. He remembered delivering packages to the corporate tower. He remembered rain. And then nothing. He blinked his eyes open. That's when he saw her. She was standing by the kitchen counter, back turned toward him. Long dark hair falling loosely over his oversized white button-down shirt. His shirt. The one he usually wore for parent-teacher meetings because it was the only one without a visible stain. She looked completely out of place in his small apartment. The polished marble CEO of Harrington Industries did not belong between mismatched chairs and a second-hand sofa. Ethan froze. Not because she was beautiful, because he knew exactly who she was. Olivia Harrington. 42 years old. Self-made billionaire. Featured on business magazine covers. Is known for hostile takeovers and colder boardroom negotiations. And she was standing barefoot in his kitchen, in his shirt. His heart began pounding so loudly he was certain she could hear it. She turned slowly. Her eyes met. Calm. Steady. Unapologetic. "Good morning, Mr. Cole," she said evenly, her voice composed like she was opening a board meeting. Ethan sat up so fast he nearly fell off the couch. What are you doing here?" She tilted her head slightly. "I could ask you the same thing." His mind raced. He looked around. The apartment was exactly as it should be. His daughter Lily's backpack by the door. The tiny pink sneakers near the hallway. The family photo tape to the fridge. Lily, panic shot through him. He jumped to his feet. "Where's my daughter?" "In her room," Olivia replied calmly. "Still asleep?" "I checked." "You checked?" His voice sharpened instantly. Olivia didn't flinch. "Yes. She kicked her blanket off at some point." Ethan stared at her. "Why were you near my daughter?" Her gaze softened just slightly, because she was cold. That answer unsettled him more than anything else. He ran to Lily's room. She was asleep. Peaceful, wrapped tightly in her blanket. Safe. He exhaled slowly and stepped back into the living room. Olivia was pouring coffee into two mismatched mugs. "I don't even know how I take it," he said cautiously. "I don't need to," she replied. "You drink it black. No sugar, no time. But you know that." Olivia placed the mug down and faced him fully. "As you've been delivering to my office for 3 years. Always arrive at 8:17 a.m. You never complain. And you always look exhausted." Ethan felt something cold crawl up his spine. "You've been watching me?" "I observed people," she said. "It's part of my job." He crossed his arms defensively. "That still doesn't explain why you're in my apartment, or wearing my clothes." She glanced down at the shirt casually. "My dress was ruined." "How?" She met his eyes again. "Because last night, Mr. Cole saved my life." Silence swallowed the room. Ethan searched his memory desperately. Rain. A car stalled on the bridge, a woman arguing with someone on the phone. Headlights. He stepped closer slowly. "You were on the Westbrook Bridge." "Yes." "You were about to step into traffic." "Yes." He felt his chest tighten. "You don't remember pulling me back," Olivia continued quietly. "You don't remember my driver abandoning me. You don't remember the truck that nearly hit us. You don't remember what I said after." He stared at her. "What did you say?" Olivia held his gaze. "You promised me something." The words hung heavy between them. "What promise?" he asked carefully. Olivia's expression shifted not to vulnerability, but to calculation. "You promised you would help me destroy my own company." Ethan felt the ground disappear beneath him. "What?" Her eyes didn't waver. "And you meant it." Ethan stared at her as if she had just spoken in another language. "I promised what?" he asked slowly. Olivia didn't blink. "Said Harrington Industries doesn't deserve to survive." He let out a dry, disbelieving laugh. "That doesn't sound like something I would say it is," she replied evenly. "You were angry about what?" Olivia stepped closer, lowering her voice. "About the warehouse closures. About the layoffs. About your brother." The name hit him like a punch. Daniel, his younger brother, had worked at one of Harrington's manufacturing. Last for 12 years. Last winter, the facility was shut down without warning. 300 employees gone overnight. Daniel had spiraled after that, drinking, fighting, eventually leaving town. Ethan's jaw tightened. That doesn't mean I'd promised to destroy a company. You didn't say destroy, Olivia corrected. You said expose. He ran a hand through his hair, trying to piece together fragments of memory. Rain pouring down. Olivia arguing on her phone with someone she called chairman. Her voice breaking not with fear but frustration. Headlights flashing toward them too fast. He remembered grabbing her arm, pulling her back. She had fallen against him. Then what? You were crying, he said suddenly. Olivia's eyes flickered. Am I not allowed to? You don't look like someone who cries. No, she admitted softly. I don't. The tension in the room shifted. After you pulled me back, she continued, you walked me to your van. My driver had left. My phone was dead. And you didn't recognize me. Ethan frowned. I didn't. You thought I was just another executive who didn't care about people, she said. You told me you delivered packages to my building, that you'd seen security escort workers out with cardboard boxes. His stomach sank. I told you about Daniel, he murmured. Yes. Silence stretched between them. You said companies don't fall because of outside enemies. They fall because someone inside finally chooses truth. Ethan felt his pulse in his ears. And I promised to help you? He asked. You said if I ever wanted to fix what I'd broken, she replied. I should find you. Stepped back, shaking his head. This is insane, is it? She walked toward the small dining table and pulled something from her purse, a voice recorder. She pressed play. Rain, wind. His own voice, rough and emotional. You don't need another consultant. You need someone who's not afraid of losing everything. A pause. Then if you're serious about change, I'll help you. But you can't have to it. The recording stopped. Ethan felt heat rush to his face. I was drunk, he muttered. You had one beer, Olivia corrected calmly. He stared at her. Why would you record that? Because I don't make decisions without evidence. Is this blackmail? No, she said softly. It's an invitation. He laughed bitterly. You want me to believe the most powerful CEO in Brookdale Heights wants advice from a single dad who delivers packages? Yes. Why? Because you don't need my approval. You don't need my money. And you weren't impressed by my title. He folded his arms again. I'm not interested. Her expression didn't change. You haven't heard the full proposal? I don't want a proposal. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. If I go public with what's happening inside my board, I lose control, possibly my position. And my daughter loses everything. That caught him. You have a daughter? Yes. How old? The same age as Lily. Ethan swallowed. What does that have to do with me? Olivia's composure cracked, just enough. My board is preparing to move production overseas. Thousands of jobs will disappear. I'm outvoted, and you need me. How? She took a breath. You need to stand with me. He stared at her like she'd asked him to jump off a building. Stand how? Olivia's eyes locked onto his. You're about to be offered something you won't be able to refuse. A knock interrupted them, sharp and controlled. Ethan's blood ran cold. Olivia didn't look surprised. That would be them, she said. Them, my board? Ethan moved toward the door cautiously. 3 black cars were parked outside. Men in suits stood waiting. Olivia stepped behind him. They tracked me here, she said quietly. Ethan turned slowly. And now, she added, voice steady, they're going to offer you a fortune to forget everything you've promised? His heart began to race again. And if I don't? Olivia's eyes didn't waver. Then they won't just come after me. The knock came again harder. They won't just come after you. The knock came a third time. Deliberate. Controlled. Ethan felt Lily's bedroom door behind him, only a few steps away. Every instinct in his body shifted from confusion to protection. Olivia's voice dropped lower. It won't hurt you, she said carefully. Not physically. That's not comforting. No, she admitted. The knocking stopped. Instead, Ethan's phone buzzed. Unknown number, he hesitated. Olivia nodded once. Answer it. He put it on speaker. Mr. Cole, a smooth male voice said, calm and rehearsed. My name is Richard Vale. I represent the Harrington Board of Directors. Ethan didn't respond. We believe Miss Harrington may have involved you in a private conversation last evening. We'd prefer to resolve this discreetly. Resolve what? Ethan asked. Any misunderstanding, Vale replied. You are a hard-working delivery contractor, a single father. You deserve stability. The words sounded almost kind, but they weren't. You're outside my house, Ethan said. We're ensuring Miss Harrington's well-being. Olivia let out a quiet breath of irritation. I'm perfectly capable of ensuring my own well-being, Richard. There was a pause. Miss Harrington, Vale replied, tone cooling slightly. You've been under tremendous stress. We can discuss this in a more appropriate setting, Olivia answered calmly. Ethan stepped closer to the door, lowering his voice. What exactly do you think I can do? Vale didn't miss a beat. You have influence. Ethan nearly laughed. I deliver packages. You have credibility, Vale corrected. You represent the human cost of operational decisions. That makes you dangerous. Dangerous. The word landed heavily. We're prepared to offer compensation, Vale continued. Generous compensation. For your cooperation. How generous? Ethan asked, before he could stop himself. Olivia shot him a look, but she didn't speak. Vale's voice softened. Enough to pay off your mortgage, secure your daughter's education, remove financial stress permanently. Ethan's chest tightened. He knew about Lily. Of course they did. You've been reviewing my life? He asked. We review risks, Vale replied smoothly. Ethan imagined the file: income, divorce settlement, overdue utility bills, medical expenses from Lily's asthma treatments last year. Numbers on paper. He glanced toward the hallway again. He could take the money, walk away. No more overtime. No more panic when the car made a strange noise. No more calculating grocery totals to the dollar. But he also remembered Daniel, his brother, standing in their childhood kitchen after losing his job. I wasn't even a person to them, Daniel had said. Just a line item. Olivia's voice broke through his thoughts. What happens if he refuses? She asked evenly. Vale didn't hesitate. Then the company will pursue defamation action for any public claims made. Mr. Cole's delivery contract will be terminated. Future employment in corporate logistics may become complicated. Not violence. Erasure. Ethan felt something steady inside him. Not anger. Clarity. He moved toward the window and pulled the curtain aside just enough to see them clearly. 3 men in tailored suits. Expensive watches. Polished shoes. They looked calm because they assumed control. Mr. Colvale continued, This is not your fight. Ethan finally spoke clearly. That's the problem. I didn't ask for this, Ethan said. I pulled someone out of traffic, and we appreciate that, Vale replied carefully. But now you want me to pretend I didn't hear what she said. That thousands of people might lose their jobs. That is a strategic business transition. It's people, Ethan shot back. A pause. Then Vale's tone sharpened. Think about your daughter. Ethan's jaw tightened. I am. Olivia stepped beside him, her voice quieter now. You don't owe me anything. He looked at her. No, he said softly. But I owe her. He ended the call. Outside, the men remained by their cars, waiting. Olivia studied him carefully. We're choosing the harder option, she said. I don't have proof, he replied. I don't have power. You have integrity. It doesn't pay bills. No, she admitted, but it changes outcomes. He exhaled slowly. What's the plan? For the first time since waking up, Olivia smiled. Now, she said calmly, we stop playing defense. Outside, one of the suited men checked his watch. Inside, Ethan felt his old life slipping away and something much bigger taking its place. Ethan didn't sleep that night. Not really. By noon, the story was already spreading. Not because of him, because of Olivia. She had called an emergency press conference at Harrington Industries headquarters without informing the board. And she had insisted on one condition. Ethan Cole would stand beside her. Now, he stood backstage in a borrowed suit that still felt unfamiliar on his shoulders. You can still walk away, Olivia said quietly. Looked at the crowd through the curtain, reporters, cameras, employees watching from live stream screens. And then what? He asked. Go back to pretending I didn't hear what I heard. Her eyes softened. You'll lose your contract. I already have, he replied. That had happened 2 hours earlier. An automated email. Polite, immediate termination due to policy violations. He wasn't surprised. What about Lily? Olivia asked gently. Ethan thought of his daughter eating cereal that morning, unaware her world might be shifting again. She'll ask why, he said, and I'll tell her the truth. Olivia nodded once. That's why I chose you. Before he could respond, her communications director signaled. It was time. They stepped onto the stage together. Flashes exploded. Microphones rose. Olivia didn't hesitate. For years, she began, voice steady, Harrington Industries has prioritized expansion over responsibility. That ends today. Murmurs rippled through the room. She continued. My board has pushed to relocate production overseas, resulting in thousands of layoffs. I opposed it. I was overruled. A journalist called out, Are you accusing your own board of misconduct? I am, Olivia replied calmly. And I have documentation. Gasps filled the room. Behind the scenes, Ethan saw one of the board members step forward angrily. But she kept going. I stand here today not as a CEO defending profits, but as a mother defending the future my daughter will inherit. Her voice didn't break. It strengthened. And beside me is Ethan Cole. Every camera turned toward him. His throat tightened, but he stepped forward. I'm not a businessman, he said honestly. I deliver packages. A few quiet laughs. But I have a brother who lost his job without warning. I've watched what that does to a family. He scanned the room. And last night, I told Olivia Harrington something I didn't think would matter. He met her eyes briefly. I said companies fall when no one inside is brave enough to tell the truth. Silence fell. Today, he continued, she's telling the truth. A reporter shouted, Mr. Cole, are you being compensated for this appearance? No, he answered. I was offered money to stay quiet. More murmurs. Why refuse? Another voice asked. Ethan didn't hesitate. Because my daughter is 8 years old. One day she asked me what kind of man I am. I want to be able to answer. The room was completely still. Olivia stepped forward again. I am invoking emergency shareholder review. Effective immediately. All overseas transition plans are suspended pending full transparency audit. One of the board members stood abruptly. This is corporate suicide, he snapped. No, Olivia said firmly. It's corporate accountability. Within hours, the story was everywhere. Public opinion shifted quickly. Employees began speaking out. Shareholders demanded investigation. By evening, 2 board members had resigned. A week later, the relocation vote was overturned. Production remained local. Thousands of jobs were saved. Ethan sat at Riverfront Park with Lily on his lap as the sunset painted the sky gold. Daddy, she said softly, are you famous now? He laughed. I hope not. She studied him seriously. Mom used to say, being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. Shh. He kissed the top of her head. She was right. Shh. His phone buzzed. A message from Olivia. Board restructuring complete. You were right. He typed back. No, you were. Across town, Harrington Industries began a new chapter. One focused not just on numbers, but on people. And Ethan? He didn't become a CEO. He didn't become rich. A month later, he received an offer. Community Relations Director role designed to ensure employee voices were never ignored again. He almost said no. Then Lily hugged him and whispered, You help people, Daddy. So he said yes, because sometimes the greatest promotions aren't about power, they're about purpose.